Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Redmen TV. I'm Steve Hutt. It's the uncensored match build-up. Yet another show. The games come thick and fast. Yeah, joined by Sam Walker and by Abigail Rudskin to look ahead to Plymouth versus Liverpool Sunday, 3 o'clock, home park. This is the FA Cup fourth round. Yeah, Sam, literally less than 12 hours ago, Liverpool or whatever it was, celebrating a win in the FA Cup. Sorry, in the League Cup.
The League Cup, yeah.
It just comes thick and fast, doesn't it? Like, it's, when you're a good team, it's relentless. And Arne Slot said, he had one glass of wine, went to bed, woke up on a press conference. Like, this is just where we are now. It's just like another game, another one to prepare for.
I know. Sounds like us. 1 pint in the pub, next day back in here. Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's the beauty of being Liverpool and being a team that competes on all fronts, and it's exciting, really, isn't it? Like, we've got one hand on a trophy, so to speak, so of Newcastle, and flying in the league, and it's an opportunity to go to a team that are struggling and have a real go, and it's exciting for loads of different reasons. But yeah, I think it's when you're winning, you just want to play footy. And as a fan, I just want to watch the Reds every twice a week, 3 times a week if I could, because I love watching us win and score goals. So, you know what, I'm looking forward to it now.
It'll be a good one. It's interesting now because Sam mentions it there. Like, it is the FA Cup. It's an away game against a championship side. However, they are bottom of the championship, but they got a win the other day, which has kept them within touching distance. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Plymouth, they've had a rocky season. Obviously, Wayne Rooney's left. They brought in Muslic, and it depends. Like, where's this on their list of priorities? Because they're desperate to stay in the league. Obviously, the fans will be up for it, and the players will be keen to put on a show against Liverpool. But you do wonder sometimes. I always think if you play a team middle of a league, it's all they've got to play for. Teams going for promotion sometimes have a little eye on that, and teams battling relegation at the bottom of the championship have an eye on that. It'll be interesting to see how, for example, how strong they go, because they've got, like I say, their main aim will be survival in the championship.
Yeah, definitely. They're dead bottom of the league. I think you could even say you might have a harder time playing a team at the top of League One than the bottom of the championship, because they're going to be deflated, aren't they? They're going to be feeling like they're getting the rubbish kicked out of them, really. And yeah, like you've said, it's probably not on the highest of their priority list. They've got a big game against Millwall coming up, and then they've got Blackburn after that. One in the middle of the table, Blackburn are about 5th. So I think they're 2 difficult games for them that they're going to have to look towards. So I can't imagine them putting their strongest team out, because do they really believe that they're going to be able to go far in that competition? Probably not. And I think it's a really good opportunity for us to give players like Chiesa and other players like that, like Harvey Elliott, some game time, probably get them feeling as though they're like a part of the actual squad and a part of the team, and get to contribute towards us fighting on all fronts. So I can't imagine it's going to be a big priority for them. I think it's probably a lot more exciting for us. I mean, obviously for them, getting to play against Liverpool is a big thing. I mean, I don't know if they'd have preferred, being able to come to Anfield and all that, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's one of them things. I think it's more important for us than them to go for.
It's interesting, Sam, because to be fair, like, they changed the manager in January, and it's going a bit wrong. But their last 2 games now, they drew with Sunderland and they beat West Brom, both who are, Sunderland are going for automatic promotion, really, or trying to get up there about 3 points off second. West Brom are fighting for a playoff position. It almost feels like those 4 points in 2 games, which I imagine even Plymouth fans would probably say was a little bit unexpected. It's got them back into survival mode. If they hadn't got any of those, and they were like 7-8 points adrift at the bottom, really, because as it stands, they are 4 points behind Hull, who are 21st. They've almost been like, well, we're down anyway, let's have a free hit at this, we might as well go for this, we're relegated anyway. But because they've kept themselves in good nick, you do wonder. Abi said they've got a massive game at home to Millwall on the Wednesday. You just wonder where their priorities lie. Again, it's Liverpool's the FA Cup, they're going to want to put a show on, but if you're that manager, you hand on heart, you're asking what you want to win. He probably thinks that Millwall game is more important. Yeah,
absolutely. And intensity-wise, imagine putting your best team out against Liverpool, which you're probably going to lose anyway. The reality of it is, they might beat us one game in 15 or 20. That's not football gods work. But so put your players through that much intensity, potential injuries, potential extra time and stuff like that, to then have to go back to your bread and butter on the Wednesday. And if they do beat us, they could get a awful a game against someone really difficult, or against a nobody team where you're going to get no money and just an extra fixture anyway. So for them, I think that they really need to think about where the priorities lie. The flip side is they've got the fans there, they've got the TV money. The job's done in that respect. It's probably sold out, and the TV money's guaranteed. So actually, that financial part's done. It doesn't really matter to them if they lose 5-0 to Liverpool or lose a 2-1 tight game and exert a load of energy. Because as you both have just said, they've got a tough game Wednesday and then obviously the weekend, as have we. But they have, if they rotate like we're going to rotate, then they're going to be in a bit of trouble. So they're probably looking, I would imagine, at a bit of a hybrid team, maybe looking at bringing some of the stronger players on to do something later on in the hope that they're in the game. But in reality, he's got to look after himself.
Absolutely, and they sold the best player as well.
I was just about to say that.
They sold Morgan Whittaker and they sold him to Middlesbrough, which is again, I half think they were expecting relegation, and they've had 2 really good results, and that's the only thing, Abi, is that they might be feeling a little bit confident. Like I say, it's a 1 in 50 chance that they beat Liverpool anyway. But the fact that they have gone draw against 2 teams that they were expected to lose against and they've drew and then won, they'll be feeling a little bit more buoyant. So the flip side is, it is that free hit, but it's a free hit when you're feeling good. You know, if they'd lost, and then you get Liverpool, it's like, oh my God, there we go again. Yeah. But actually, the confidence is probably as high as it's been for a while. To change your manager, and like I say, 2 good results back to back. They've got nothing to lose in front of their home fans, which we'll be up for. I went to Plymouth last time. Like, they certainly backed their team. Like, it's a high, it's whatever. Like, go and fill your boots and have a go, because worst case is we lose. Well, everyone thinks we're going to lose anyway.
Yeah, they're probably feeling a little bit better than they did, but I can't imagine sitting bottom of the tables. You're going to be feeling great. I think this is an opportunity maybe for them to think, right, we can give the fans something to cheer for. You know, if we come out fighting and maybe if they get an early goal or something, they'll be thinking, right, that'll put the fans in a better mood and shows that maybe they're up for a fight, you know, which sitting bottom of the table like that, I think they've got 15 losses, something like that. You'd be feeling as though you've got no chance.
As well,
yeah, do you know what I mean?
They've won 5 games, they drew 10. And
is it 15 losses? Yeah, see, 15 losses, they must have been feeling awful all season. This game's sort of an opportunity for them to be like, let's show the fans that we still actually care and we're not just giving up completely. We're playing against Liverpool, you know, top of the Premier League. You know, even if they score 1 against us, it gives them something to like cheer a bit, that they've got some sort of talent and that they care really there. So that's a bit of an opportunity for them, but I don't think they're going to be going into it thinking it's the biggest game of their season in terms of how their season's going to go.
Absolutely. Like I say, they've conceded 63 goals in 30 championship games. You'd think if Liverpool had anywhere close to being on it, regardless of what team is out there in Liverpool, you'd imagine.
Even with Salah sitting on his couch at home, we've got more than enough fighting for.
There's going to be chances and there's definitely going to be goals in it. We'll talk about Liverpool in a moment after the break very quickly about in terms of team news, injury updates and all that kind of stuff. To go into that break, I've got a trivia question for you.
Okay.
I mentioned that game I went to. 2017, Liverpool won 1-0 at Plymouth. Lucas Leiva scored the goal. It was a header from a corner. But can you remember who took the corner? That Lucas Leiva nodded in. That's a good question. Basically, an attacking player who might have played in that game will give you a clue. Let us know your thoughts, your answers in the live YouTube chat. We'll be back with the answer to that. And of course, I'll look at Liverpool's team news, injury updates, all that kind of stuff after this quick break. See you in a second. Hey everyone, in December we give away a shirt signed by Kenny Dalglish. In January we give a shirt signed by Ian Callaghan away. Well, it's February and we've got another signed shirt to give to one of our wonderful Redmen Plus Legend subscribers. This time it is signed by not one but 2 icons of the football club. This is a Rome 1984 shirt signed by 2 of the men who won the European Cup for Liverpool on that day. You've got Ronnie Whelan and you've got spaghetti legs himself, Bruce Grobbelaar. If you want to be in the draw to win this, simply go to redmenplus.com. Join us as a legend subscriber. Get access to all of our amazing extra content in video and in podcast forms. And yeah, you get loads of perks. You get access to the Discord. You get free merchandise. You get discounted merchandise as well. But if you do it today, by the end of February, you'll be in the draw to win this signed shirt. Ronnie Whelan, Bruce Grobbelaar. Get yourselves involved right now. Welcome back. I asked before the break who took the corner that Lucas Leiva nodded in. Luke in the chat says Emre Can. He wasn't even on the pitch or in the squad.
I go Lallana.
It wasn't him. Jono said Ben Woodburn. He did start that game, but no, it wasn't him. Any guesses?
Just said Lallana.
He wasn't in the squad at all.
Coutinho,
it was.
Was it?
Yeah,
was
good shout.
There you go, that was a good
I didn't think he'd have been in the squad.
Yeah, he started that game. So Liverpool's 11 in that game. Just thought it was Karius in goal, a back forward, Joe Gomez. You might see him there. 8 years later, Albi Moreno, a young Trent Alexander-Arnold, Philip Coutinho, Lucas Leiva playing centre back as well. A midfield of Kevin Stewart and Ovi Ajaria.
Wow.
Ben Woodburn, Daniel Sturridge and Divock Origi. And then off the bench later on in that day, Harry Wilson came on. Harry Wilson and Shea Ojo came off the bench.
Wow,
There you
it's
go.
a young team, isn't it?
It is.
I'll be honest, I have no idea who Paulo Alves is. He was on the bench. I'm usually good with my Liverpool knowledge. I've no
never
idea.
heard of him.
Clavan, Randall, Jordan Williams were all on the bench.
Jordan Williams,
as well. So
yeah.
it's a very different Liverpool squad. Obviously, that's going to go down to Plymouth this time out. Obviously, we expect changes. We know that. Honestly, kind of hinted at that. In terms of the injuries, Trent's not fit. And a big one who would have played probably is Tyler Morton. He's now out for a month. He's done his shoulder. So
is he? Yeah.
So no Tyler Morton as well, because I imagine he'd have been probably pending to start this one. So let's start with the Alexander-Arnold thing.
Is he injured, or is he just not going to play that game because it's too close and he's got Everton on Wednesday?
Well, the manager said about Trent is that he won't play Sunday and we'll see how he is for good Everton. Like, he easily say, like, I don't know, and we won't rush it, so we don't know.
I didn't think he'd play anyway.
Yeah, he probably would not, but what I'm saying is he's a doubt for Everton as well. So this is where my next point comes, Abi, is that if Trent was going to be fine for Everton, Conor Bradley would have played.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee. That's
so
the thing.
This is my point. Therefore, he probably wants to give Conor Bradley a rest on Sunday as well, because he'll need him ready for the derby just in case. So in terms of right back, we've got Joe Gomez, and therefore I'm trying to build a back four.
I think Conor plays. I think Trent's going to play against Everton.
See, the way the manager,
I think the manager's not going to go, I'm not playing him on Sunday just in case.
Oh, yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that might tell us, if Bradley doesn't play, he's resting him, but if he does play, he thinks Trent's going to be fine.
The way he spoke was that he sounded more like he's not going to play. He was like, we don't know. He went, there's only 3 days between games, and we don't want to take any risks. So I don't know. So that, on the hypothesis, Trent's fine. I agree, Conor. Let's say maybe Trent's iffy and they're not sure. I just don't think he can afford to play Bradley, because I don't think he can play him 3 games in a week, potentially 4. They're looking ahead, Abi, and also you don't want to risk injury. I'm trying to build a back 4. I'm thinking maybe Gomez at right back, Kwanzaa and Endo, and Costas in front of Kelleher. Does that sound?
Yeah, I guess so. But then I'm just thinking, if Morton's out, I was thinking Morton is a 6, so maybe you have to put Endo there. Then is the only thing. But then who else do you play? Maybe McConnell's a good shout, but.
You've also
maybe
got
you've
Curtis
just got to put Endo at the back.
and McAllister, because then 3 of the 4 aren't going to start on Wednesday, so whoever's not starting on Wednesday should be starting this game.
I was just thinking more maybe throw Gomez in at centre back, but if we need him at right back,
I would play Gomez centre back, me myself, because I think
Gomez is starting no matter what. Wherever he starts, he's getting game time and building back up his
fitness.
His fitness.
Narrow got sent off in his PSV game. Now I wonder if the manager decides, listen, that was horrendous for him. Do you get him straight back in and try and
give
rebuild?
Him a start?
He's like the next young lad. Now that might be difficult to go there, and listen, he'll be next to Kwanzaa, and Kwanzaa's a senior pro, but he's not like an experienced player in terms of minutes himself. So it'll be interesting. I agree. I think I would like to see Gomez as centre back, but I could see him playing right back if, like I say, the manager wants to be careful with Conor Bradley. And then to be fair, you can go Endo and Kwanzaa at the back, and that.
Well, now the Villa game's been moved to that, confirmed for that midweek, isn't it? We've got 4 games in like 2 weeks, effectively. Yeah. It's good. Like, we can't. This game's got to be the skeleton squad, hasn't it?
That Nallo could be an option then, to be fair, especially after him getting that red card. I think that's a real good boost for that kid, and I can't imagine him struggling too much.
If you put Kelleher behind him,
he's young.
Yeah,
he is young.
He's a young kid.
I know, but that moment against PSV was horrible for him.
I was just thinking, if you've got Kelleher behind him, Timikas and Kwanzaa, and then Endo in front of him, he might be able to get through.
Yeah.
But
it's just the physical battles, though. If you're a 6'3" Alas from the Championship and just bullying some 18, 19-year-old kid, it's just a. I think either Endo or Gomez plays centre half, and I think, you know what, you might even see someone like James McConnell playing right back, because he's played centre back for us against Accrington, was just spraying it round. I spoke to someone who's worked with him for a long time in the academy. He was like, the kid's just. He's just, it's all up there. He just knows what to do. He's never played centre back before that game. Dropped in, played amazing.
We might find out later, because I think, I'm not saying that, and someone's wrote in the chat, the 21s are playing later, so you might see what squad they put out.
Joe Gomez starts either way.
Does it work? Because like Mabaya was on the bench, young lads, and he can play right back. So maybe if you want to play Gomez at centre half and get him used to that, then there's an option as well. But yeah, I think the Trent thing throws a spanner in the works, because ideally you just think Conor Bradley will play again. Yeah.
But he might do. He might. Even if he's not fit for Everton, or if he's only fit enough for the bench at Everton, there might be a way where he just says, well, you know what, Conor, you can play 3 games, so I'll just take it off against Plymouth. You can play 50 minutes, and I'll just shift the squad round and then rest you and play at Everton, because he hasn't played lots of football this year, so it's not like he's goosed. It's just more,
I know, but in terms of importance, this game's so low, and we've had those games before. Was it a Champions League game that didn't mean anything where Jota got injured that time?
Yeah.
It's like, is it worth taking
Jota was a
risks
sub
like
back then,
that?
though, weren't he, as well?
Yeah, but is it worth taking those types of risks in a game that really isn't like?
And he is, it's not that long away where Conor done his hamstring against Madrid.
Yeah.
So that
was a dead rubber, that though.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a knockout, isn't it?
Yeah, this game has importance to it. It's just that it's an easier side, and it is the game that you look to where you go, right, rest the important players here. Do you know what I mean? And Bradley, in my mind now, is like important, especially if Trent's a doubt at all. I'm just like, right, you just protect Bradley now.
I agree.
That's such a big game, that derby.
James McConnell might be Arne Slot's favourite player ever. I think we can put him in the midfield. Elliott.
Yeah.
And then
so Endo's going to play, isn't he?
Yeah.
Elliott's going to play. If McConnell plays, that means that you can potentially play Endo centre half, which fits your narrative.
And throw like if he wants to play Alexis or he wants to play Curtis.
I'll play Curtis, because Alexis just plays against
Everton.
Yeah.
And then I agree, it'll be interesting with those.
Because he came off Curtis as well. Did he? Yeah. So
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of feeds a little
bit. It'll be interesting,
bit.
like, say what type of squad because he left 12 behind for PSV. It was different. So
different scenario though. And you want to go through here?
I think he does.
I think he takes some for the bench.
I'm trying to think. Did you say Simicast at left back? Yeah. Sorry, I think we just skipped it.
Chiesa will play. You'd guess. He hasn't been in and around it much, but he will play. This is where it gets interesting now because they loaned, obviously Jayden Danns has gone. Well, he was injured anyway, so he wouldn't be able to play. But they also loaned him out.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the young lad on the left again. Because he couldn't go to PSV because he weren't picked. Yeah, because so there's a world where he played because he might look at Jota, he might look at Darwin and go, look, you can just play 90 minutes because you've played 70 against Spurs. You only came on against Bournemouth. You know, you'd probably be on the bench against Everton, and then we look again at Wolves. So there's a world where he can play probably 90, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has to play 90 up front. He could play up front and bring Jota on and go on the left.
So I think he might start Jota.
Do you reckon?
I think Jota gets a start, to be honest, coming back from injury, given the game time.
Yeah,
I think definitely.
He hasn't been out that long, has he?
I think Jota's definitely starting.
I hope so. What would you play, Jota off the left or Nunez off the left?
I think he'll play Jota up front. I think he'll play Chiesa on the right.
Yes, is there no discussion for Diaz here at all?
I think he might be on the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if young Rio plays again.
Yeah,
potentially it's interesting. But yeah, someone says you from three of Gamoa, Jota, and Chiesa. That wouldn't surprise me.
Because if these are a League One level team, they were a League Two team.
No, it's different. It is different.
It's a step up, but it's not like you're going back to the Prem level, is it? Do you know what I mean? There's a way where he can play.
And Jota, what you want this game to be, Abby, is over.
Yeah.
Soon. And you want Diogo Jota getting 2 chances and scoring 2 goals.
Yeah.
Like Accrington was over really relatively quickly in the end. It was pretty. It was a walk and pace game. And it was bang bang goal. All right, they go. And Jota was the one who got the first. It was like, that's the game done now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Liverpool want. Liverpool don't want this being a dogfight, 90 minutes, having to be in the big guns on extra time penalties.
Yeah.
It just feels like you just throw Jota on and you're almost not guaranteed the goal, but you'd like to think you get himself one early doors.
If you've got Chiesa, Jota, Elliott, players like that with so much creativity, there's no way we're not scoring. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. You've got loads of goals. Honestly, that's what I think. I genuinely think Diaz is probably gonna start, but then you've got to look to the derby because I'd probably go Diaz and Gakpo for the derby. I'm not starting Nunez for the derby. So do you just have Diaz on for the last half an hour against Plymouth maybe? I don't know.
Or you flip it and start Diaz and bring Nunez on for him. Or for Jota. I don't know, I mean, the good thing is he can... I mean, I personally would use I just want to win the game.
Salah's at home on the couch watching it on the telly.
Yeah, you say that though, but you know what? You might go and just be on the bench.
Well, it's a long way. And the travel.
It's a long way, isn't
it? What I'm saying is, it's interesting because Liverpool, I read through it earlier, what Liverpool's changed team used to be. And with all due respect, like, the level of play that we're going to have in this game is miles above. Like, you know, if it is Chiesa, Elliott, Endo, Timmercast, Diaz or Nunez, Diogo Jota, like Kelleher in goal, like it's a serious team that they're going to put out. Sam, I always think the reason Liverpool do quite well in cups recently is like the squad's really good.
Yeah,
so usually your fringe players come in and they can go to Brighton and win the League Cup, and they can go and beat Southampton, and they can beat West Ham, and they've shown they can do that. So you've got to think they can get the job done against Plymouth anyway. Whereas you don't have to worry. You can take to Virgil, get your feet up. You can take to Alisson. You've have a whole week off.
Definitely
as well, because the lads, the backup lads, are more than capable. Listen, they almost won in PSV. They probably should have done. Just a little bit unlucky and whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
It should be more.
Added time that shouldn't have been added and stuff like that. Yeah, but you are right. Yeah, and I was actually thinking about this yesterday. PSV aren't Plymouth. and they had some serious players on the pitch. And I some PSV fan actually come up me on Twitter and was like, we didn't have our main team out, we had like 5 subs. And I was like, yeah, but you had like 6 starters in your team and the rest were on the bench and came on. Like, it's different than what we had. But that's the thing, isn't it? We're going to have a stronger team, aren't we, than we did against PSV, because you're not going to have Dan starting. I'm trying to think who else started the game that, you know, might not this time. You're not going to have Robbo centre-back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be 2 or 3.
The team's not going to be makeshift, is it? It's going to have a bit of cohesiveness to it, you
Absolutely.
know?
And if you've got the power of like a Jota or even a Nunez up front in terms of running power, like, it's different gravy. They'll have never played against anybody like Nunez in the Championship, or like Jota with his trickiness and stuff like that. So, I mean, Federico Chiesa, he should just be running riot here.
I can't wait to see him in this one.
Same.
I just need to see that lad play more
I was
football
gutted when
for
he didn't come on
Liverpool.
last night.
I know. I need to see him more in a Liverpool shirt. He lives for it. He loves it.
He should run rings around easy if he's all right.
Yeah,
the other one, by the way, Mr. Moses, Train Yoni's another one.
Of course.
Yes, that's one.
The manager mentioned today in the presser, he's another one. But there's
He
so many
Does like
disappointments. I love when young players play. I think it's fantastic.
Same.
But I think you can only really get one in the team, maybe, just because there are so many, I don't know, first team / fringe / squad players who need the minutes. You know, you want to get your one Endo to play, you want Harvey Elliott to play, you want Chiesa to play, you probably want Gerald Kwanzaa getting more, like, you know, minutes in his legs. Yeah. Obviously the goalkeeper is a different story as well. It's actually hard to find room for these youngsters. You're probably going to get 1 in the 11, maybe 2 at most, because the rest of this jam-packed full of lads who've been on the bench for a few weeks who'll be desperate to get back on the pitch.
This just highlights the squad depth that we've got now, though. That's why we're fighting on all fronts. Like last season, when you look at that Carabao Cup final, all the kids ended up having to step up for us. You know, we've got a fully touch wood bar Trent, we've got a fully fit squad here. Do you know what I mean? You've got those players that just need game time, and this game's like the perfect opportunity for us to be like, yeah, here's your chance. But it's unlucky for some of the kids, to be fair. It is unlucky, because when you think under Jürgen, they were given a lot of opportunity, you know, to go and have that game time. But under Slot, I think we're just so lucky that this squad's so good. We are so lucky. It's the depth that's there. The fact that Harvey Elliott's not starting every single game in the Premier League is almost criminal, because he'd start for any other team in the league. It's one of those things where it's like you've got to keep these players happy at the same time. Though, although everything looks very cohesive to me, everyone looks happy with what they're contributing at the minute. But it's games like this that keep them players happy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Sam, because we're pretty confident that whoever starts have got enough goals in, and we'll see. They're going to have a very good goalkeeper. You have to presume Keller starts, who's as good as you're going to get, really. Midfield will be interesting, because the manager, like I say, James McConnell was going to go out on loan, and Arne Slot chose to keep him around. Obviously, A, for his quality, but B, this injury to Tyler Morton. He's out for a month. He wanted to make sure they had cover. Like, it'll be, if James McConnell can get his foot on the ball and just control the tempo of the game, that'll be key for Liverpool. Plymouth will want scrappy in your face, getting up and at you. Obviously, the Ryan Gravenberch role, you'd be surprised if Ryan's even goes down, that he's one who needs a break. Someone like McConnell, it might be his job to just get his foot on the ball and try and control the tempo, because, like I say, we all want Liverpool to win, but we want Liverpool to win as relatively stress-free as you can. You don't want this to become a dogfight where there's, you know, there's challenges flying in and there's turnovers and counter-attacks and all that. You want to try and go down there and just nice, serene, calm, control the game. And actually, McConnell looks like he's got that about him, where he can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the platform for him, isn't it? Like, it's funny, because if you had Trent available, if we knew Trent was going to play against Everton, there's a world where the midfield could just be Endo, Curtis and Elliott, and that's effectively what maybe until yesterday has been our sort of second line of midfield, and McConnell doesn't even get a game. I think he probably is the one that comes in, as you were saying before. I think he's the one, and then you might drop Endo into the back line, Gomez does whatever, but he's starting to show maturity that we've not seen before. He looked sharp and did some nice things last season, but luckily we're not in that first season of his development anymore, which is, you know, when they're coming in, they're flashing the pan and they make mistakes and stuff. We're seeing a guy who's come on, he did come on, didn't he, in the League Cup final. You know, he's played Champions League football. He's been away with the squad. He's trained with them for over a year now. He's been part of 2 managers. And I think the way he plays football really suits Slot's style as well, in that putting his foot on the ball, moving it around, being athletic when he needs to be, not all the time, which is what it was the case sometimes last year. I just feel like he's another player who you just want to see more of. And as I said, I spoke to someone who he's worked with for years from the academy. He just said he's so clever as a football IQ, which is why he was able to just play centre-back when needed against Accrington. So I can't wait to see him again, hopefully he gets at least some minutes at the weekend.
There's such a professionalism about him as a
Absolutely,
player. You can just see that he was given opportunities. I mean, I know I keep talking about Jürgen, but you know that opportunity, them opportunities Jürgen gives to those young lads, you can see that it's just boosted them massively. That they do all have this faith in themselves, and you can see that they don't go on. I mean, there's sometimes where like Trey Ione looks dead excited to just get on the pitch for Liverpool, but there's something about McConnell where he looks 10 foot tall, like he looks just as confident as the other players. There's something about him where he's just, even in his interviews post-match and stuff, he's dead professional and dead like grown up, you know, for his age. He's just got that sort of like professionalism, and like he just looks like he knows his responsibility and he's up for it. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want to see in young players like that, and that's why he deserves opportunities.
It's his confidence as well, isn't it? He zips the ball around. Like with Morton, he's a bit keep it smart and simple. You see him zipping balls.
There's no fear there, is there?
He's stuck in. He puts it out. The interesting one, by the way, we spoke about Joe Gomez and we just all put him in the team. It's worth mentioning he wasn't on the bench yesterday. Now for us, as far as we're aware, like he was back in training, but again, it's whether they want the minutes in him, because if he's not available, then all of a sudden Liverpool might have it.
He has specifically said though it's only Trent who's got problems. He's literally said there's no other problems.
Got a full squad except Trent and now Tyler.
He'd have mentioned it, I think, if he'd have picked something up again.
It might be that they're just saving him for this.
Yeah.
This is the first game where he gets back, because again, captain the team, be the leader. Like I say, he was in that team in 2017. He's been there a long time now, Joe.
10th year, isn't it?
It'll be good for him to get involved. Before we have a little score predictions and all that kind of jazz, guys, I will very quickly just bring up some of the other FA Cup fixtures that are happening. So Man United play tonight against Leicester at home. God knows, honestly, anything could happen.
And do you know what the thing is with Man United? If they're playing at home, I think they're going to lose. If they're playing away, I'm like, they'll probably do well. At Old Trafford,
he's lost like
just
5 games anyway, or something. Like, it's a joke.
It's ridiculous.
This is the game tonight, isn't it? It's the Van Nistelrooy derby. Can't wait for that.
Depends if Leicester give a shit as well.
I would
Man
love
City
it for
go to
Leicester.
Leyton Orient tomorrow. That's at lunchtime.
They should win, but it's not going to be easy. They're out the league now. Obviously, they're out the League Cup.
They're the favourites for the FA Cup, you know.
Are they?
City are the favourites.
Is that because they just think Liverpool are just going to launch it in the bin till the 6th round?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And because basically, I think
Everton, Bournemouth's another one.
Everton,
that's at home for Everton, but still Bournemouth. They're
going to leg them, which is boss for us, by the way. Leg them.
I was going to say, I hope Moisey puts his best team out.
They're on a high right now, Everton. They're all so confident at the minute.
Extra time, pens, get beat on pens.
A few more injuries on top of what they've got.
Extra time, pens, a few red cards, that'll do us great. The other big games, Brighton, Chelsea will be interesting. That's tomorrow night. That'll be a good one. Villa, Tottenham as well. Obviously, what's interesting, if you look at this list, and I won't read them all out.
Some serious prem, isn't there?
Brighton are so unpredictable.
There aren't like some, you know, again, there's not a lot of teams left. So you'd imagine, listen, you'd probably think United will get through. You think City get through, but then you are going to lose one of Chelsea and Brighton. You're going to lose one of Everton and Bournemouth, perhaps, if you think they're a threat. Villa and Tottenham, one of them are going to go all out. You know, Forest to go to Exeter, you'd imagine Forest get through. But like, this FA Cup is there again for somebody. Yeah. It's opened up quite nicely for a lot of them. Again, City are favourites. Again, I think that's to do with the fact that they might be out the Champions League and they might not be in a title race soon. So maybe they put all the
they're not now. They're 15 points behind with a game less.
So in terms of eggs in baskets, I think Pep might be
Real Madrid in the Champions League.
I think Pep's looking at the FA Cup as like a redeem. If they can scrape top 4 or 5 and win the FA Cup, I think
he's done well if he does.
That's what I'm saying. So I wonder, that's probably why they're favourites. But yeah, like I say, if Liverpool can get through, which I think we all suggest he probably should, Sam, the competition's it is opened up a little bit, because you're going to lose a few Premier League teams. Like I say, I don't think it would be the biggest shock of all time if one of Brighton, Chelsea, Villa, Tottenham, take away the injuries and stuff. If you said, they're FA Cup semi-quarter finals, you'd think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose 2 of those already.
And even Leicester versus United, you don't really want to play Leicester away in the middle of a Champions League. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Premier League team.
And Everton, like I say, Everton and Bournemouth, so we'll see how that one goes.
So we're going to lose 4 more Prem teams guaranteed, aren't we, this round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few have already gone out.
For us, this round, getting through this game Sunday, obviously we've got to do it, which is massive, and then the draw for the next round is key. If you can avoid the big hitter or get a home game, because the 6th round's the quarterfinals. So I think, and that's when you start thinking, we can win this, a bit like we did, for this cup potentially. And also you'll know a bit more about where you are in the league and Champions League by then. So I think for us, getting through Sunday professionally and then the look of the draw in the next round is massive, because imagine the winner of Villa Spurs gets the winner of Chelsea Brighton, and then you might get a Bournemouth Newcastle. Suddenly you've 4 of the top sides have gone out.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal are the second best team in this league, and they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they just went out the other League Cup, so haha. But yeah, but like that's a massive thing, that isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think you try and get through this one. You try and get through one more round, and then you see where you're at, and then before you know it, like it could really start opening for you. With that being said, they have to get through this one. Do we all think they're gonna get through this
100%, 100%. We've got enough firepower there to score goals. Whether even if we are weak defensively, I don't know if he might play kids at the back. I know Quanta struggles a bit at the minute. I still think we the firepower we've got in terms of goals. We're just gonna we'll outscore them either way.
I think we're gonna score 4.
I hope so.
I just haven't seen what we did to PSV with this attack. I think. And it'll be a pretty similar-ish team. Obviously, that team didn't have that team had Jadon Danns. I imagine this team
didn't have Nunes.
I imagine this team might be a little bit stronger in terms of the attackers as well. I just think
even that Accrington game as well. It's just we're just too good. I know we're just too good. That the strength and depth in this team.
I think Chiesa could have a good game in this one as well.
I can't wait. And I've already said I can't wait to see Chiesa play more football.
I don't think he'll leave as many behind as he did PSV. I think some will go. I think he'll take a couple more on the bench than we think. I think he probably leaves Verge. You know, you might gamble with the centre halves, but I think he needs 4 or 5 at home. I don't think he leaves 9.
Might make Mo just sit there with his jacket on in case he's needed.
I think he definitely leaves. I just don't think he takes Alisson, Van Dijk, Gravenberch or Salah. I think
Konate could fit into that as well.
And he, because
he's just a bit.
Yeah, and then I think he takes the rest.
Yeah.
So Sobbo just goes.
McAllister maybe just on because you need to. Because like I say, the under-21s got a game, so half of them are going to play tonight anyway. You can't just deplete them too much. So I think the bench might be a bit stronger than PSV, and you hope that you don't have to use them. You take a bench of kids and senior players and just hope it's the kids who you can bring on.
Be good for Kelleher to have 2 games in a row as well.
I was surprised he started last night.
I know, I couldn't believe Alisson wasn't even on the bench.
The manager did say something on his press today about, like, you know, sometimes you all have these fellas as like family as well. He mentioned something along the lines of, you know, like, sometimes you want to give them a week off with the kids and that, which is fair enough, like, fill your boots.
That is nice, isn't it?
It might just be a little bit of that as well.
It's good for Kelleher, definitely good for
It's worth mentioning as well, obviously the Everton game on the horizon plays into this a little bit as well. He's got a lot to juggle here, Arne Slot, but JD thinks his team, he will go Yaros and go, okay, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Endo, Costas, McConnell, Jones, Elliott, Rio, Jota, Chiesa.
That would be so sly to Kelleher to start, Jared. That would be so sly. Kelleher's definitely playing. No offence, I just think that's a little bit mean.
I wouldn't be shocked if that was the team, but with Kelleher.
What was his middle 3?
Elliott, Jones, McConnell.
I can see that. I can see it. Jones wears the armband, or Gomez, you reckon?
Gomez, you think?
Gomez is the senior player.
And young Rio, we'll see again. He might play for the.
I can see it there.
He might play for the kids tonight, but we'll find out. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for coming in.
No,
absolutely pleasure having you. Thanks all you guys for watching or listening to this build-up show. Just a couple of notes, very, very quickly. Tonight, 7 p.m. on Redmen 2, our other YouTube channel. We've got our new show, Reds Cartel, hosted by Errol. Go and check that out. He's going to be laughing at Man United and Arsenal, which is always something. He's actually got Man United and Arsenal fans joining him to laugh at them, which is always a bonus. So do check that out on Redmen 2. And then for the game this weekend, watch along duty. I think it's me and Errol again. So come and join us for that one. The game kicks off at 3 p.m. So we'll be live around about 20 to 2. So come and join us for the game as well on the YouTube channel. And we'll catch you all next time. See you later.